Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call for the record. Mayor Lindsay is not present. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Here.
Counselor Howe,
Here.
Counselor Weeks,
Here.
and Counselor Curry.
Here.
We have a quorum. You may proceed.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second. A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We have any requests from the audience to speak this evening?
No, sir.
Okay. Moving on, any announcements or proclamations by council?
Yes, the hospital district met on February 23rd. And the two items I want to bring to your attention, the long-term care center is scheduled to be completed and ready for occupancy in October. Final cost is $30 million.
30?
So
Double. That's double what it was originally bid at.
yes, and that's all I have.
Okay, no other announcements. We'll move on to staff reports. Up first is Police Chief Jerry Hobrook.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Manager, and Clerk. I'm kind of hoping these two gentlemen here aren't coming for me because I did get a notice that I have a toll violation. They sent it to both my work phone and my personal phone, so, you know, I ought to take that serious. I mean, to break the ice with that, and for our community, there are notices going out all over the place. They come to your cell phone saying that you've either got unpaid citation or toll violations. Please ignore those. Do not respond to them or fall victim to that scam. Think about it. If you went through a toll, how are they gonna have your cell number anyway? So, clue number one. Anyhow, thank you tonight. I'm gonna present the February 2026 monthly recap. I want to make a notation. I do believe on the calls for service through the AFPD that we show for 59, we might be at least two short on that did not get captured earlier in the month. I have no explanation for that, but this could be off by 2 calls. So we do have 59 for February through the police department. Through Red River is not listed on here because I don't have accurate information to report to you on that. I can tell you that looking at the numbers, I do believe we trended in the right direction and they were down from January, perhaps even down just a little bit from February. I will get this updated into you at the next meeting. For incident call for services total, we had 63 warrants. There were 4. There were 2 arrests. There was only 1 crash report. Just to mention the 1 crash report, as we all know, mild winter has contributed to lower crashes throughout the winter months. Traffic citations issued were 23. There were 7 non-traffic citations issued, and the asterisk indicates of the 7 citations, there were actually 3 persons that were cited into courts. They had more than 1 violation for 2 of them. Other things, our court collections for February 2026 was $2,407. That's really close to what January, just a little bit more than what January was. Continuing our community outreach and business checks that we began at the beginning of the year right after the holidays. Lieutenant Strickland did attend a controlled force instructor course and did graduate. Officer Lucero attended ARIDE, which stands for Advanced Roadside Impairment Detection, and did graduate that. And also in February, end of February, I did receive notice from the New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy, the DPS, that both our agencies and all our officers were in compliance with all training that was required, not only what was required, but exceeded the minimum standards for agency and officer recertification. So with that, I want to talk just a little bit about a topic that's come up a few times in casual conversations throughout the community, and that is Senate Bill 40, which did pass and now has been signed by the government, our governor. Senate Bill 40 is certain restrictions put on LPRs, license plate readers, for New Mexico law enforcement agencies that participate with those. We do. We have flock camera systems located at 3 different places throughout the village. We do not have the LPRs that are part of our dash camera or automated readers that read license plates as you drive through parking lots. We do not subscribe and do not, and probably will not have that portion of it. Essentially, the restrictions on that, and once the extraction of law comes out of this, we'll know exactly what it is and more about it. But it basically says it can't be shared with any federal government for the purposes of immigration enforcement, or for persons seeking abortion services, such as in New Mexico, that is a legal thing, but in Texas, it is not. So I would not be able to share my LPRs with an agency in Texas for that purpose. It also cannot be used for identifying protesters or other activities that are protected by the New Mexico and United States Constitution. They can still be used for any investigative purpose, such as identifying a hit and run vehicle leaving a crash scene, or a criminal investigation. It makes that information confidential by this law, and therefore not subject to public record or IPRA unless a court order is generated demanding the production of that for a specific matter in a criminal case in the district or high court. LEAs for our guidelines, and I actually logged in and checked our flock system. This is already in there as part of the prerequisites to be able to query a license plate. We must enter a valid crime code. If it's anything from arson to voyeurism, whatever that is being investigated, a search reason for investigative purposes, we have to list that, and we have to have an agency case number to enter into that system now. And in addition to that, which we will always have that because we didn't buy these with the intent of checking up on our neighbors. We want to use these for, to do investigations, and in some cases, as we've actually had in the valley, to clear an innocent person. So it also puts a little bit of additional restrictions on who we can share our cameras with. And I just want to inform the council that currently we are sharing our cameras and they're sharing theirs with us with Red River, Taos, and Espanola. That stand for any question? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Up next is Airport Director Jeff Kilmer.
Pro Tem, Council, Strickland, and Village Manager Weir. Not much has changed since we last spoke a month ago. The numbers have been down quite a bit because, well, there's no snow and not a lot of traffic. We've noticed an uptick in our jet traffic, and those are just some of our homeowners who own private jets that come in. So the fuel sales have been average to better. I've got several on the ramp even this afternoon that have come in. That's good. The 100 low lead, unfortunately, for the smaller aircraft, which we normally would have during the Christmas and Thanksgiving season, it's been down pretty much. We're in, we'll bring you up to speed in a little bit of a crisis right now with our 100 low lead fuel. And I want to make it clear because you may get some questions like, why is the airport selling their aviation gas so cheap? This is not the jet fuel. That's competitive, but we have an overabundance of 100 low lead fuel, based on the fact that, no one's coming in and buying it. Because of that, it has to be refreshed every 6 months and recertified because it's aviation fuel. Well, we've run up against that. We've got about a month before we hit that 6 months and we got a full tank. So, I just told Manager Weir, I had a call from, Phillips 66. They think we have a workaround where we'll get the fuel recertified. There'll be a cost involved in that. Not sure exactly the amount between, it could be between $4,000 and $6,000 or somewhere in that range to get that fuel recertified. And then that gives us 6 months, which takes us through summer, and we should be able to then sell down what we have. The way that you recertify it normally is you buy 101% of whatever is in your tank. And they say you're good to go. So just so you know, the reason why we're doing that, this started when, even back in Colfax County days, where there was fuel in the tank and you kept adding, well, they have a minimum amount they'll drive up the mountain and drop off to you. So the tank kept getting fuller and fuller, so we're at this place now. Any of you all have an old car that you can run 100 low lead, or you want big tanks for your weed eaters, come see, I'll sell you gas cheap. Anyhow, so that's that part. That's just an FYI, but you're certainly welcome to ask more questions or come by the airport. Speaking of that, I believe on the last meeting, I said that we have a new employee, Ryan Helwani. If you have not met him, I would invite you to come by the airport. He's off Wednesdays and Thursdays. He's the weekend crew right now. And meet this young man. He's really sharp. He's got some good experience coming to us. We will be announcing some new concierge services come Memorial Day that he is very well versed in doing on aircraft cleaning and things like that. So as we get closer, you will see that. But please get a chance to meet Ryan. He hit the ground kind of like Chris running, and I assigned him the first week training through the University of Minnesota's aviation department, and it's professional airport management training. And the kid went through the whole training course in like a week and a half. So, on his own, no one pushing him. That's the kind of guy that it was worth the wait. I'll just say that. Hangar Lease got notification today that the village village counselor had sent us the new contract. So you all will be seeing that for approval. It is the village's contract with parties that are interested in leasing land from the village at the airport when this transfer completes. So we now have a contract that folks can look at, and that came through this morning. So thank you, Manager Weir, if you button there to get that finished up. We sure do appreciate it. And then lastly, if you're out at the airport, you'll see a bunch of construction equipment on the north side. That is the fuel containment pad. That's pretty much dug. It's been compressed. I think they're putting rebar in this week and bringing cement up from Taos. Is where they're going to get it so they can get it here timely. They're waiting on some engineering drawings to figure out where they're going to dig the pilings for the exterior support for the new door. That is kind of the sticky point. They're supposed to have them already in their hand. The downside of that, we're going to lose the door on the hangar once they start digging it, because they have to cut the tracks up that the current door slides on. So we will let those patrons know, their airplane, we'll take it outside once they get the doors off, but their airplanes will still be underneath the roof. They just won't have a door there. And then there's also a cover going to be placed over the actual self-serve pumps. I think that's about all that I have for you. If you have any questions, I'm glad to answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, next up on this list is Tourism Director Greg Ralph.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Crane, Council, Manager Weir, Clerk. Strickland. Short and sweet tonight. On short-term rental compliance and collection on our short-term lodgers tax are going pretty well. In February of 2025, we collected $106,483. February 2026, we collected $118,456. So an increase of 11%. Pretty much no, it's not increased occupancy in town. I would bet that it's mostly getting people compliant and getting those funds in. A month ago, we had 508 permitted, fully compliant properties with permits and submitting forms on a monthly basis. Right now, we're at 573. So we're picking up a couple every day. I expect us to be in full compliance and have our handles on this thing completely by the end of April, no later than that. Right now, we've identified 911 rental units in this valley. That number fluctuates on a daily basis. This morning, we did have a meeting with Airbnb. Last week, we sent out a nice email to all of our Airbnb hosts explaining how to go through the Airbnb website and our website step by step, giving them directions on how to pay our short-term rental fees and our lodgers tax fees. We've had a really good response with that. And Airbnb is now sending that email out to all of their hosts that are in Angel Fire on our behalf. So there may be some people we pick up with that we didn't have in our database. So we're trying all the angles to get these people in compliance. Same thing with VRBO, working with them to make sure we get the short-term rental fees. But the thing that's been the most successful with us is working with each individual lodging provider, auditing their site with screenshots and working with them as an individual and getting them up to speed. And that seems to be our most effective way. We're about 75% compliance now, so we're getting there. Any questions on short-term rental? Okay. Advanced air employment in February ran at 48%, 50 people inbound, 59 people outbound. Little bit of pickup from February and a little bit of pickup from, I think December was 42, January was, December was 42, then 44, now 48. So we're a little bit of gain. We have sent out an email to all our farmers markets vendors announcing the schedule and collecting registration fees. That email just went out last Thursday. We had over 20 vendors sign up right away. So we're expecting a bigger and more powerful farmers market every Sunday right here at Mountain View Event Center this coming Sunday, summer. Our first Balloons Over Angel Fire planning meeting is this Thursday. They'll have police, fire, everybody that's involved, including our balloon meister, Bill Lee. We'll get everything up to speed and get on that. We expect an event about the same size in terms of balloons as last year. We're pretty much limited to 40 balloons based on the landing area that we have in the valley for them to safely return back to Earth. But we're trying to grow participants, sponsors, and grow spectators through the event any way we can. Event sponsorship packets we put together a nice event sponsorship packet this year that has now gone out to 10 regional businesses. And when I say regional, I'm talking about the casinos, beer companies, people out of the valley, and then 35 local businesses here in town. So we're following up on those now, try to get some help in paying for some of these events. Any questions for me? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, up next this evening is Parks and Rec Director Shay Tiblish.
Me. I don't have a whole lot to tell you guys. It's new. So it'll be real quick. Couple softball tournaments, one in June, 2-day tournaments, and one in July. Those are the only 2-day tournaments that I have right now. The electrical easement is getting done at the Allen Fields, probably this week. It'll probably be done, if not going into the beginning of next week. And, we're gonna be going out for RFP for the lights also. So hopefully soon. Regular activities at the center, booking summer events, family reunions, trash treasures, things like that. Easter Sunday, Cameron Lindsay is is coordinating an egg hunt and such at the community center. She did this last year also. And then with the trails, still waiting to see if the village and the resort can reach an agreement. That's all I have. Any questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Finally, this evening is Fire Chief Jason Vance.
Evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, Manager Weir, Clerk Strickland. Somebody forgot to tell Shay she was supposed to take longer so I could find my email that I got. I first want to start off by acknowledging that the Cimarron Rams are in the state championship for basketball games and just wanted to offer our support and say go Rams. I know that we have many family members that are involved in that, so good luck to the Rams. We are starting planning for the Balloons Over Angel Fire event. We have a meeting this week on Thursday to begin our planning for that. We're gonna, for the most part, copy and paste what we did last year and try to fit people into assigned roles, but also use this as a annual training event for the ICS system, Incident Command System, and under Manager Weir's direction, start training everybody in the village through Incident Command, or kind of resume that training that John Murtaugh had started years back. So if you do get emails associated with Incident Command System and have some assignments for that, please take those seriously and take those courses. I think everybody here in the village should have some knowledge of how we organize that type of event, and it starts with the Incident Command System. We now are officially Firewise. We have that committee formed. We have a meeting this week. We have selected a chair. Mike Laverty is now the chair of the group. Martha Ashley is the secretary, and most of the voting members are still the same. And we've added some members of the fire department, myself, Captain Romo, and Lindsay Reed to be non-voting members to the Firewise committee. As soon as we vote on our purpose statement, we kind of gave a few different options for the purpose statement last week. And we're going to meet this week, and as soon as we vote on that purpose statement, we'll be able to formally submit the application to become a Firewise community. We have our, we have our state fire marshal's inspection on Monday, March 16th. For the first time, the state fire marshal is going to start including ISO related items directly into the state inspection, which is new. I fully expect that we'll be in as good of a position to request our ISO, formal ISO evaluation after this inspection as we ever have been before. It's my hope to be able to lower our ISO. I have lofty dreams and think that I can get down to a 3, but more realistically, I think we can lower our ISO to a 4. So that will be the intent, and we'll look towards Manager Weir for direction to do that. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Any committee reports this evening? Now we'll go ahead and move on to new business and open discussion on item A. Approve the appointment of Lenny Baker and Dan Marcy to the Roads and Infrastructure Committee. Discussion on this item.
Need to get it going.
If there's no discussion, I'd ask for a motion on item A.
Make a motion to approve appointment of Lenny Baker, voting member, and Dan Marcy, voting member to the Roads and Infrastructure Committee.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item A. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howell,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Curry. Motion passed.
All right, moving on, open discussion on item B, approve resolution 2026-16, apply for FY 27 Transportation Project Fund TPF.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Crane, Council, and Manager Weir and Clerk Strickland. Before you have a resolution, which is a permission to apply for funding for the TPF project. This is a yearly funding opportunity that NMDOT offers. we are looking for funding for Upper Hill Burgess, going from that drop inlet and, down to Vale. I'll stand for any questions.
But when it says sidewalks, it's the side that doesn't have a sidewalk.
No, it's the sidewalk, it'd be sidewalk rehabilitation, because right now those sidewalks are not ADA compliant. So,
Would it be adding sidewalks? to the
no,
sidewalk?
because we don't have a right of way for that.
Any other questions? If not, I'd call for a motion on item B.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-16. Apply for FY 27 Transportation Project Fund.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item B. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howard,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
Counselor Curry,
Aye.
motion passed.
Thank you, Dylan.
Okay, moving on to item C, open discussion to approve appointment of John Carmack to the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board. Discussion on that? If not, I'd call for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the appointment of John Carmack to the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item C. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howard,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Curry,
Aye.
motion passed.
Okay, moving on to item D, open discussion to approve award and recognition to Officer Hott.
Well, you gotta come forward too, sir.
Stage right.
Somehow down. Mayor Pro Tem, council manager and the clerk, it is a great pleasure tonight that I get to present this letter of commendation for outstanding and valued service to Senior Officer James Hott of the Union Fire Police Department. Just to lay a little background on this, February 18th was a snowy, blizzardy, windy, and very unfortunate night. It was a Wednesday. Officer Hott was working by himself that evening and handled multiple calls throughout his shift. He was commended by Fire Chief Jason Vance when he relayed to me sincere gratitude for Officer Hott showing up to one EMS call where assistance was needed. Another call that evening was reported domestic violence. And with very little information to go on and what turned out to be improper directions to get there, Officer Hott did an outstanding job in that situation. He arrived, communication was that the person, the aggressor had left. He did not observe any footprints, shoe impressions leaving the scene or vehicle tracks leaving the scene. With his spidey sense kicked in, he realized that this didn't look right, did make a tactical approach after some observance, and did contact the only residents at this particular complex that had lights on and appeared to be occupied. Upon contacting, he was unfortunately greeted with a person who turned out to be only wanting to protect themselves and their property, but was armed with a firearm. James immediately took control of that situation, and not only control of the situation, but very quickly and immediately de-escalated that situation once it was recognized that that was not the proper location of where this had happened. I want to commend him because he used his body cam and his dash camera. It showed the events very clearly. And for that, it may have been difficult to discern what was reported versus what reality actually showed on that. So I just felt these few examples were worth mentioning and to reiterate to you, James, that I don't say this enough, but you are a very valued member of the Angel Fire Police Department and to this community, and we are very lucky to have you here.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief and Officer Hott. Just to make the agenda right, if we could have a motion to approve the award and officially report the vote on this.
Make a motion to approve award and recognition to Officer Hawk.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item D. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed. Congratulations.
Okay, moving on to item E, open discussion to approve resolution 2026-17, apply to the Community Project Fund through Representative Ledger Fernandez's office.
Thank you once again, Council, Administrator Weir and Clerk Strickland. Before you have a resolution for permission to apply, it's showing community support to apply for this, community project fund, requesting $500,000 for storm drainage, repair and coating of Upper Bill Burgess, because that will not be covered in the TPF funding opportunity. And I'll stand for any questions.
There's no questions. I'd call for a motion on item E.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-17. Apply to the Community Project Fund through Representative Ledger Fernandez's office.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item E. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay, moving on, item F, let's open discussion to approve resolution 2026-18, various bars. Don't think Director Rendon is here this evening. Manager Weir, are you gonna speak to these bars?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I apologize, sure where Director Rendon is, but, as you can see, these are, bars that he's requesting council approval. And I stand, for any questions you may have.
Similar to the bars that you do these meetings, or is just kind of reallocating it?
Yeah, so these bars basically, are to, adjust the balances within funds. Some of these are revenue bars, so we're making more money than we projected, so these are increases in those revenue funds. And most of them are expenses where we are, having to increase the expense, to a, for example, and one of them here, 301, the bond proceeds, and then the, we needed to increase the revenue there for 174,000 because we got more money than we had budgeted for. Other ones are for expenditures, and in the detail you can see, I mean, I can answer any specific questions, but most of these are like moving it from one fund to another, or increasing the expense, and all of them, the fund balance stays positive. So none of these cause a fund balance to go negative, which means we have the money for them.
Any other questions on item F? I'd call for a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2016-18, various budget adjustment request.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item F. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Moving on to item G, we'll open discussion to approve resolution 2026-19, various budget adjustment requests.
So this next one, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, is, did we get a motion?
Just opening discussion. We haven't had a motion to proceed yet.
Okay, yeah, this is for the LERF, which is a fund we get to the state to help pay for the salaries of newly hired law enforcement. And simply recognizing the revenue that we received and attributing that to the expenses that are related to that revenue. So this is a grant money being adjusted in the LER fund.
No questions, I'd call for a motion on item G.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-19, various budget adjustments.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item G. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howell,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right, moving on to item H, we'll open discussion to resolution 2026-20, various budget adjustment requests.
Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, Manager Weir, Clerk Strickland. About 1 year ago, we paid a cost estimation company for the formal evaluation for the cost to build Fire Station 1. Their evaluation came back at,
Chief,
yeah,
I'm sorry, you're one ahead of us here.
Oh,
You're-
I'm sorry.
You're item I, and we're on item H.
hey, I'm ready to go. whenever
Yeah,
you-
no, I know you're excited about it. Yeah. Okay, so back to item H, this will be a motion to approve resolution 2026-20. Again, this will be our third budget adjustment. See. Any questions or discussions on this set of bars? If there aren't any, I would call for a motion on item H.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2026-20, various budget adjustment requests.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item H. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howell,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
And now we'll open discussion on item I, approved notice of award to Frank Construction.
So, I'd like to first go on record that it's Adrian's fault for not being here for keeping me out of sorts. Also, I wanted to make a typo correction. It says Frank Construction. The name of the company is Franken, Franken. Construction. Okay. As you all heard, about a year ago, we paid a cost estimation company for the formal evaluation of the cost to build Fire Station 1. Their evaluation came back at $14.7 million. Since then, we pivoted and designed the engineered metal building. And to pay for that separately to avoid markup. That PEMB cost us $667,000 and included all of the doors, windows, roofing, and insulation package. That led us to selecting a contractor to build the foundation, erect the PEMB, and finish the project. After thorough evaluation of 3 formal respondents to the RFP, we were able to issue a notice of intent with Franken Construction, who came up with an approximately $7.9 million bid to complete the project. With the direction of Mayor Lindsay and Manager Weir, we were able to perform several rounds of value engineering assessments and reduce that price tag another $335,000 to reach our target of $7.5 million. We accomplished this with compromises in materials and selections in lighting and plumbing fixtures and changing branding of selections and items like HVAC units from Carrier to Train and so forth. We also elected to go with polished concrete floors instead of doing flooring throughout the whole thing with that net savings of $335,000. One item that we were able to keep in it is originally they had an electrical snow melt system on the driveway for right in front of the building on the north side. And with Mayor Lindsay's direction, we moved to a hydronic glycol system, and we were able to keep that in that on the north side of the building at that price under $7.5 million. And it's with that I recommend that we approve Franken Construction and issue a notice of award. That's time for question.
Would they be ready to break ground?
Rocky and Manager Weir were reaching out to the governor for about a 1 month period. Mid-April is when we're trying to do a groundbreaking ceremony and combine that with a ribbon cutting ceremony for workforce housing. So we're hoping then. Once we issue the notice of award, then we will be able to go to final contract negotiations and get everything signed, and then we'll be able to proceed from there. So hopefully mid-April.
Any other questions this evening? Not ask for a motion on item I.
I make a motion to approve notice of award to Franken Construction.
I'll second.
Roll call vote on item I. Mayor Pro Tem Crane,
Aye.
Counselor Howe,
Aye.
Counselor Weeks,
Aye.
and Counselor Curry.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
And finally, this evening, our managers report.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I just have a couple of things. I wanted to give you an update on the workforce housing project. And Kurt may have some later information than I do, on this, since his staff's been working feverishly on this project. But I would say that we're approximately 97% ready for occupancy now, just some touch up like cleaning and a few things that got damaged in the transport that still need to be fixed. The utilities and the heating systems are all working properly, using liquid petroleum. The washers and dryers are installed, and last time I talked to Mina, they were close to being done, but did they finish?
Not right. They're all in the units. They just, some of them need final hookup.
Okay, and then we put base course surrounding. I think one of the things that we wanted to do was to try and zero-scape that so that we minimize water usage in the area. So we put base course all the way around all the units. It'll also keep it from getting muddy. And so that's done. We are having the cleaning crew come through, I think, tomorrow. Or she was out there today. She finished?
Not quite.
Not quite. And then, we're gonna have final inspections on March the 12th. And that's gonna be Rocky and Mino are gonna go through each unit and with a checklist and make sure that everything is functioning properly. Our first two residents will be moving in on Saturday, the 14th of March. And that's for units 3 and 4. And then the other 4 units will have people moving in on the 1st of April. So will be fully occupied as of the 1st of April. See what else? So one of the things we're looking at, and this really was a recommendation of Director Epler, and the worst part about it is I didn't think of it. He did. But we're actually looking at, because the base course road that we have out there is really a quality road, better than most roads in Angel Fire. And as long as we can maintain proper drainage, which we believe we can, we're considering foregoing the asphalt and the curb and gutter on those streets and keeping them base course. And that is going to free up money that we can utilize to buy more units. And the advantage to buying the units ourselves with this money is that it's going to allow us to keep the rental costs down. We don't have an exact number from Sustainability Partners yet. They're working with their finance people to come up with that number. But my guess is it's going to be north of $1,500 a month, which starts getting in the range to price people out. Because keep in mind, there's income limits. You can't make over a certain amount of money and rent these things. So because of that limit, I'm concerned about pricing people out of that market. If we use this money to buy units, we can keep the price low. It probably will be a little higher than the $1,100 a month we're now charging for the first 6 units. But we did find a better deal from a vendor here in New Mexico. to get a higher quality unit that's gonna have drywall instead of panels and better roofing, better load. The R values are gonna be higher, and for basically the same price. Per unit, for like 2,000 or 3,000 more per unit, we're gonna have a higher quality. And we believe that we can, get a little bit more money, instead of 1,100, maybe 1,200 or 1,250. That's something we'll have to take to the Workforce Housing Community Committee and get feedback from them on. But if we could do that, we could buy another 6 to 8 homes and keep them at that price. But that will impact sustainability partners. Today, I believe Rocky made them aware that we were considering this, so they can factor that in. Another thing that you need to be aware of is that in this year's budget, there were, last year, when we got the workforce housing money, we were the only one applied. Actually, our grant was originally for 2 million. Out of the 3 million that they had available, they gave us 2. Nobody else applied for the rest of the money, so they gave us 2.9 million because there were no applicants. Well, this year was the opposite. I guess word got out, and there were a lot of applicants and requests for workforce housing money. And so what the governor did, I believe it's $26 million approximately that she set aside, and she gave that to Housing New Mexico to allocate. I've been told by our lobbyist that the governor has agreed and earmarked 4.2 million for Angel Fire. But, we still have to go, we have to fill out an application and so on. We're estimating the earliest we'd get access to that money would be next October. So the reason that that's important is that we had that money earlier, we could buy all the units. And that was our goal, is to buy all the units ourselves, because then we could rent them all out for 1,100 or 1,200 a month. But it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to get all that money in time to do that this year. So what we can do is with that 4.2 million is we can do several things that will come before the council. You'll have several options once we get that money. One, we could then go in and do the curb and gutter. Another thing would be to start on phase 2, to acquire the assets and start to put the infrastructure in for phase 2. When I say assets, acquire the land is what I meant. Or we could buy out sustainability partners with that 4.2 potentially. And if we did that, that would allow us again to keep the rates low. So we have a lot of options, but we want to keep moving forward. And what we will be bringing to you probably in a work session scenario, maybe next week, maybe not until the 31st, but is to put these before you in a more detailed fashion so that you'll understand what the options are. And then we're going to ask you guys to make a decision on which route you want to take with that. Because the 4.2, even though it's supposedly earmarked, there's no guarantee we're going to get it. I don't want this project to wait on that. The sustainability partners, quite frankly, at this point isn't 100% sure thing. They made us feel very comfortable that it is going to happen, but they still have to get approval from the investment arm of their company to allocate the funds for this. And so to me, us not putting in the streets and the curb and gutter and buying another 6 to 8 units gets us even closer to our goal in case one of these other 2 options or both of the other options fall through. And it'll allow us to, again, ask rates that are much lower than I believe we're gonna be required to pay with sustainability partners.
So we have 6 houses already. We're looking at another 6 or 8 out of
30.
30. Where does the money come from? Does it come out of the 4 million for the remainder?
We're either gonna have to use sustainability partners or the 4 million.
Okay.
Or if we take Director Epler's suggestion, we could turn about $1 million of curb and
Right.
gutter that we already have in the existing grant into another 8 homes. essentially.
Right.
So just reallocating
Okay.
existing grant.
All right. So sustainability partners is an option for the remainder.
The challenge with them is, of course, they're trying to make money. And, what we would have to charge in rent to cover that cost. There are some things that actually, I believe was brought up by, Director Lyra today. We were talking about this and I was asking him to put together a budget so we could bring it to y'all. And, one of the things that we may be able to do is if we had, say, 12 homes, so that's bringing in 13,000 a month. We could use that 13,000 a month, at least part of it, because that money is supposed to go towards maintenance and future projects. But we might make a decision to utilize that to supplement the cost of the other rents. So if Sustainability Partners comes to us and says, yeah, you're gonna have to pay us $1,700 a month each. And we're making, 13,000 a month, we may take, say 10,000 of that. And even though we're paying $1,700 a month, we may only ask the renters to pay $1,400 a month. Because we're using the money we're making off the ones we own to supplement the cost of the ones that we're financing. So there's several options that we'll be presenting to y'all. And the whole goal, we're not looking to make money on this. But I don't want to lose money on it either. And the whole goal is to provide quality housing for our workforce at the lowest possible price. And so we're looking at all these different angles, and I just want y'all to be aware it's going to be coming your way, and we will have a work session. If Rocky can pull all the numbers together, it could be next week. The following week is pretty much out, but certainly by the week of the 31st, we'll have a work session, and then we'll probably ask y'all to make a decision on how we want to move forward.
When you say October, you mean October 26th or October 27th?
The earliest we would see the money in the 4.2 million would be October of 26.
And then this, the Sustainability Partners, is there already a buyout clause?
Well, we don't have a contract with them.
We have to negotiate that.
We have to negotiate, but they told us, I mean, that's part of what they do. Is because it's basically, the reason that going through Sustainability Partners doesn't count against our debt cap is because really it's a rent to own, effectively rent to own. So with the rent to own, we can buy that contract out at any price, at any time. Now, the price of that is obviously gonna be higher because they're gonna want to make sure that they don't lose money on the deal. So there'll be some minimum expenses we have to pay to buy that out, but we don't know what those numbers are yet, and we'll have to analyze that once we get them. Want housing as soon as possible, and so that's gonna be our goal, is how do we get the least expensive housing as soon as possible?
So 6 have already been leased. Do we have more applications currently?
So we had 10 applications, 2 of the applications did not pass. And they turned the application process off because we didn't have more. We're gonna wait a little bit, let these people get into the homes and then figure out what we're gonna do, probably at the end of the month, and turn the application process back on. We only had that on for like a week where people could submit applications. So, I don't know, it might have been 9 or 10 days, but approximately a week. And we got 10 applications.
Okay.
Any other questions? If there's nothing else, the next regular meeting will be on March 31st. Meeting adjourned.
Hey, we finished this meeting before it even started.